going on, guys? Is Brightizer here. I've had it was quite a quiet morning up until now. Just coming up to 12 o'clock. Where was looking on motorsport.com, and Alex Albon is replacing Pierre Gasly at Red Bull from Spa. Which I have mixed feelings on. Because I kind of Red Bull said, but I know that this is if you know F1, this is Red Bull we're talking about. And they like to bullshit quite a bit. That they just don't. The young drive program is an absolute mess because well, it's not as much of a mess as it was a few years ago, but but Gasly was up against Max Verstappen, who is probably the second best driver on the grid. Next, Hamilton's I'd say is number one. And Gasly, we know he's good because his performance in GP2 when it was GP2 and Super Formula, which he almost won. He is a good driver. The problem is that Gasly is going against Max Verstappen, who is an incredible talent, and Gasly is talented as well. It is the Red Bull this year is very much like the McLaren situation from 2017 to 2018 with Fernando Alonso and Stoffel Van Dorn. Fernando Alonso, one of the best drivers of all time in F1, and when you go up against him, you're obviously going to lose. And Van Dorn got dropped because he wasn't up to par with Alonso. Now, I think a lot. I think pretty much everyone in the F1 community had been calling for Gasly to go back to Toro Rosso at least for a few races because he was getting destroyed by Max Verstappen. Can it? The only race Gasly was I do like Gasly a lot. He's such a nice guy. He just comes across as such a nice guy. He just does not. The only good race for Gasly was the British Grand Prix where he beat Verstappen only because Vettel clattered into the back of him like an idiot. And he got fourth place, and that was the only decent race Gasly ever had. And then Danny Kvyat, I hope I'm saying right, Danny Kvyat, he got the podium in the race that the epic race that was the German Grand Prix and got a podium, and Albon got sixth, and Gasly got beaten by both the Toro Rossos. So, and I think if Gasly had been performing on closer to Verstappen, Red Bull would be second in the constructors championship as well. Um, so I completely understand why I've dropped him. Now, if it was me running the team, I would have put Daniel Kvyat because he's the more experienced driver. Um, and he did race for that team in 2015 and four races of 2016 before he got dropped for Verstappen. Um, and so I don't know if Red Bull were thinking about that, where there might be a little bit of friction between Verstappen and Kvyat because Verstappen got moved up to Red Bull in replace of Kvyat. Um, but I would have taken Kvyat because he's the more experienced driver and he's the better driver. Alex Albon, when he got announced, no one knew him. No one knew what. No one just like, oh yeah, Alex. Oh, who's that guy? Um, he did amazing in F2 last year and the year before, I believe. And Charles Leclerc and Gasly rated Russell. Charles Leclerc, Russell at George Russell and Lando Norris all rate him very highly. But I'm extremely worried that Albon is going to have the same problem that Gasly did, where he's going to get destroyed by Verstappen. Hopefully not. I'm hoping that Albon does get closer to Gasly than Gasly gets closer to. Oh my god, gets closer to Verstappen than Gasly was. And I think if he does well, he could be the one to replace Verstappen. I'm sorry about that car going past. that maybe when Verstappen goes, Albon comes in, because I sincerely hope this is not the end for Gasly's career. Hopefully not, because we've seen it with a load of other Toros who just Red Bull drivers in general, like Sebastian Buemi. Well, he's in Formula E now, but he's Sebastian Buemi, Jean-Eric Vergne, who I was actually gutted when he didn't get the Red Bull seat for 2015. Brendan Hartley, Jaime Alguersuari, most recently Dan Ticktum, who I don't really care because he's an asshole. But yeah, I have mixed feelings on this, mostly because well, Red Bull said, but Red Bull did say they would give him the whole of the year, but obviously I think they finally, but I think Hungary was it, because Verstappen lapped Gasly again, and that's twice now that Verstappen has lapped Gasly in a race, because he did in Austria. Verstappen lapped him in Austria, which he won, and then Verstappen got second place in Hungary, and he lapped Gasly again, which shouldn't really be happening in the same car. So yeah, I think it'll be good for Gasly just to get like his head straight, and because Red Bull did say they did promote him a year or two early, which they should have promoted Carlos Sainz, but he's at McLaren now and he's doing really well, so I don't really care. But I do think it should have gone to Sainz at least just for 1 year till Gasly is ready, because I know that Verstappen and Sainz didn't get on in Toro Rosso. But yeah, so I think it should have been Kvyat in the seat replacing Gasly. And they have said that Gasly is going to Toro Rosso. So it's just a swap. So Albon's going to be at Red Bull. I'm very excited to see how he's going to get on against Verstappen, and I'm also excited for Kvyat and Gasly, because I think they did one race as teammates in 2017 Malaysia, when the whole Sainz and Jolyon Palmer saga happened for Renault. So yeah, just I wanted to do a video on my mixed thoughts on the Red Bull situation. I'm absolutely happy. I'm very, very happy that Albon's got a seat. I understand why he did it. I think everyone can understand why he did it, because Gasly's been utterly garbage this year. But I actually do feel, for part of me, a lot of me does say Kvyat should have gotten that chance, just to show Red Bull why he should not have been dropped in 2016 and 2017 when he got kicked out of Red Bull entirely. So yeah, I'm very happy for Albon. Gasly, he needs to get his head straight for the rest of the year and hopefully come back in 2020. Or maybe this is the start of Albon's Red Bull career, hopefully, because he was dropped a few years ago from the Red Bull program. But hopefully this is going to be his big chance. I'm hoping it's not going to be the same situation with Verstappen and Gasly where Albon's getting destroyed. So that is it. I'm going to leave this video here. Rider Eyes out. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I don't know when I'll be back, because I just don't know what to do at the moment in terms of stuff. I'll just maybe just do just random stuff, I guess. I think that's probably what I'm going to do, and my opinions on it. So I shall see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed.